Hello and welcome to The Download from Wise Woman and Wordsmith, where insight meets inspiration. A space for creatives, dreamers and visionaries ready to spark new ideas, ignite purpose and reimagine possibilities. Here we share downloads of wisdom, stories and strategies to help you thrive in your creative journey. I'm your host, Jill Marshall. Tune in, connect and let the magic unfold.
Show you tomorrow.
Welcome to The Download from Wise Woman and Wordsmith, the podcast that inspires creatives, entrepreneurs and dreamers to find energy, purpose and clarity. I've talked in other episodes about how downloads come to me in very workaday ways sometimes, namely through the TV or a film. Today, though, we're diving into the fascinating world of the download through dreams. Dreams have guided humans for centuries as sources of insight, creativity and even life-changing inspiration. We'll explore the different types of dreams, their cultural and spiritual significance, and share some remarkable stories of innovation born in the dream world. I'll also give you some examples that help me investigate and reshape my own pathways. Plus, you'll get some practical tips on interpreting and using your dreams to shape a full and abundant life. So dreams come in many forms, each serving its unique purpose. Let's start with processing dreams. These are your nightly brain filing sessions. They're how your subconscious organises, prioritises, and lets go of the day's events. Did you ever dream of being late to an exam that you took 10 years ago? That's likely your brain working through unresolved stress or anxiety. Now, Jungian dreams take us deeper into the psyche. Carl Jung believed that dreams were symbolic messages from the unconscious, revealing truths we might not consciously recognise or want to recognise. These dreams often use archetypes, universal symbols like the wise old man, the hero, or the shadow, to tell us something profound about ourselves. Then there's lucid dreaming. This is when you're aware that you're dreaming and can even control the dream. Think of it as a playground for your mind, where you can experiment, face fears, or just have fun flying in that liminal space. Indigenous cultures like Australia's Aboriginal people embrace the concept of dream time. For them, dreams are sacred, connecting them to the origins of the universe and to their ancestors and spiritual truths. Similarly, shamanic traditions see dreams as a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms, the place to gain wisdom or heal. And here we're talking about dreams while you're asleep. Daydreaming is a conscious activity where your mind wanders through scenarios, ideas, or fantasies. It's creative and free-flowing for sure, but it lacks the depth of REM state dreams, where the subconscious takes control. Deep dreams in REM allow access to the unconscious, integrating emotions, memories, and insights. Both have value. Daydreaming sparks imagination, while deep dreaming can deliver profound clarity or guidance. I've also found, however, that daydreaming can be very triggering, not for the dreamer, but for the other people around them. That's because daydreaming often looks very similar to doing nothing, or rather, not doing what the other person perceives you should be doing, i.e. not concentrating, not listening, not focusing. I have a terrible habit of looking at someone, having a thought, and then not stopping my mind as it wanders off into a little reverie. Minutes later, I look up and I'm still staring at the poor person who has no idea that my brain and I have been off on some virtual journey, often on a completely unrelated topic, and is wondering why I'm still gawping at them. For that reason, I often find it better to try and limit my daydreaming to solo activities, walking the dog, going for a swim, head down and writing something even if in a cafe, either that or wearing shades. So isn't it great that for the most part, our deep dreams and night dreams are relatively undisturbed? And this is especially important because dreams aren't just personal, they can shape the world. Here are some incredible breakthroughs that come from dreams. In the 1840s, Elias Howe was struggling to design a sewing machine. One night, he dreamed of being surrounded by warriors holding spears. The spears each had holes which sparked the idea of a needle with an eye near the point. Now that innovation revolutionised sewing forever. And what about Mary Shelley and Frankenstein? The mother of science fiction was inspired by a dream. In her vision, she saw a scientist working on a grotesque human-like figure that came to life. That haunting image became the core of her groundbreaking novel. Then there's chemist August Kekule, who discovered the structure of the benzene molecule after dreaming that a snake bit its own tail. This image of a circular structure solved a scientific mystery, and it opened the door to modern organic chemistry. So these examples show how dreams can act as creative catalysts, unlocking ideas and solutions that elude us in waking life. And they're not all artistic or right brain matters, they're just as likely to be scientific or technology or engineering based. It's also important to note that they're symbolic, sort of idea adjacent, if you like. They're not a neat vision of a machine stitching linen together or something floating in a petri dish. They're visual and often mind-stretching interpretations of the end result. It's up to the dreamer to connect the dots and make that end result. Of course, those dreams are very personal to specific people. Some dreams are nearly universal, and they often carry symbolic meanings that resonate across cultures. Let's look at the top 10 common ones and what they might mean. Firstly, losing teeth. This dream can symbolize fear of aging, loss of power, or concerns about communication or self-esteem in general. Being naked in public, that's a classic anxiety dream. It often reflects feelings of vulnerability or fear of exposure. Flying. Often associated with freedom and ambition, flying dreams can also represent a desire to escape. I fly a lot in my dreams, so I don't know what that says. It's always in the same specific and not very zoomy escaping way, which is to swim in a leisurely breaststroke through the sky. Maybe that has something to do with water, which also features heavily in dreams, with calm water reflecting peace and turbulent water indicating emotional turmoil. Falling, being chased, being trapped, these are all common dreams with relatively literal interpretations. Failing a test, we've mentioned this, even years or decades after school or your last exam. This dream can arise during periods of self-doubt or performance anxiety. Then there's seeing someone in your dream who's passed away. Depending on what you believe, this could actually be the person who passed away. Or these dreams may reflect unresolved grief or a sense of connection to the deceased. Travelling at an airport, for instance, this dream might represent transitions, new opportunities, or a sense of being stuck while waiting for something to happen. Travelling in general features a lot in dreams. I often dream of being at a train station in the middle of a city, in the centre of a hub with trains or sometimes buses going off in all directions. I'm usually late or unable to find the train that I need. On the rare occasion I get on the right one, I take very careful note of where it's going and who I meet on the train. After all, J.K. Rowling met Harry Potter on a train. I wouldn't want to miss something like that. So while these dreams have common interpretations, they are distinct from deeply personal dreams that tap into the subconscious and, in some cases, ancestral records. Personal dreams often reflect unresolved psychological or emotional issues or traumas, while ancestral dreams may connect us to collective memories or inherited patterns that we have no idea about. Like everybody else, I've had many collective dreams, many processing dreams, and just a few that stand out to me as these archetypal dreams blasted down to me from the collective unconscious, or possibly forward to me from my ancestors. They all seem to be connected to a building of some kind, which is why I use that familiar Jungian and classical symbolism of the house for my course on identifying and processing stuckness, the architecture of abundance. So the first dream I've had several times where someone, usually an ex, turns up at my home and tells me I'm in big trouble because there's about to be a discovery of, dun, 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 the body of the person I killed that's either buried in the cellar or hidden in the attic. They're very angry about it and quite self-righteous and have called the police. And I experience this very deep guilt because I know there really is a body buried in the cellar or mummified in the loft. But I also know, deep down in my semi-waking brain, that there's something wrong with this information. Because weren't they the one who'd murdered this person? I wake up in a cold sweat, waiting for the bang on the door from the police, before I remember it was a dream. And that's where my conscious brain can figure out who the body is. And it is always me. Or rather, some part of myself. that was buried sometime in the past, often but not always during that particular relationship of the person who turned up at the door to complain about my murderous tendencies. Once I figured out which element of my beingness it is, I can consider how to bring it back to life. The second really resonant dream was in a different house, this time in downtown New York, where I've never lived, by the way, in some sort of warehouse loft, quite basic, mostly unfurnished. I'm there with a bunch of strangers and all three of my siblings, all with various duties to do because we're celebrating our parents' anniversary. It's funny, this dream occurred long ago when my sibs and I were living in 3 different countries, so no chance of getting together. But last year we did congregate to celebrate our parents' 65th wedding anniversary. It was the first time, literally in years, that we'd all been in one room together. So maybe it was a prophetic dream about getting together with family. No, not really. It was actually a very individual, personal journeying dream. From the outset, it felt weird, and somehow I knew it resonated deeply on some other level than I was used to. It was sort of crackly. The party was well underway, and then we all went to the windows to watch my parents arriving. But they were arriving not on foot, but in an open-topped Cadillac, like the Kennedys, in the middle of a huge ticker-tape parade which was being held in their honour, and each of them wearing enormous papier-mâché heads that bobbled moon-like on their shoulders as they waved grandly to the passing crowds. And just after I'd seen them, I went to the bathroom to wash my hands and stared at myself in the mirror, which is when I saw my own face staring back at me, only this time it was a male version of myself, my boy twin or something, and just as I saw it, I woke up. I felt very uneasy about this dream, and I once discussed it with a Jungian expert and analyst who really got quite excited about the whole thing. The city represents the self in its broadest sense, he said. The building is the psyche. My bobble-headed parents were archetypes of the mother and the father, and my siblings were, well, my siblings, and the face in the mirror, that's what he got most excited about. He said, or rather whispered, "I think you met your animus," by which he meant the masculine aspect within the female psyche. I'd seen a part of myself that often is never revealed. What I'd had, basically, was a deep invitation to dive into Jungian studies and figure this all out for myself, along with a vast fascination for dreamscapes and dreaming in general. Now, it hasn't ended there. I've had lucid dreams which made me shift into learning to be an author. A prophetic dream that informed my ensemble series, Swag, predicting an Olympics with no spectators, a virtual school, and wars founded on misinformation and social media madness way before those events actually came to pass. And I've had a very Jungian-type dream that prompted me to investigate my ancestral lines back to the Viking invasion of the village of Repton in the UK. At every turn, they've invited me to learn, do, or be something new. And now I really take notice whenever a dream feels a certain way, or it stays with me for a long time afterwards. So, how can you interpret unusual dreams? Well, dream interpretation is deeply personal, but here are a few general tips. 1, and everyone will tell you to do this, keep a dream journal. Write down your dreams as soon as you wake up. Even small details can hold meaning, and they often disappear from your memory before your first cup of tea. So write them down as soon as you can. Secondly, look for patterns. Recurring symbols or themes often point to unresolved issues or important insights. Thirdly, trust your intuition. Dreams speak, as we've said, in the language of symbols, which your subconscious understands best. Ask yourself what the dream feels like it means. And then fourthly, seek professional insight, as I did. A therapist or dream analyst can help unpack complex dreams, especially those tied to trauma or growth. And you want to use dreams to follow your conscious wishes? Start by setting an intention before you go to sleep. Ask your subconscious to guide you and be open to whatever emerges. Dreams can clarify your path, inspire new directions, and even suggest steps towards achieving your goals. To me, dreams are a gift. They're a bridge between the seen and the unseen, the conscious and the subconscious. Whether you're solving a problem, exploring creativity, or seeking guidance, your dreams can be a powerful ally. They can even inform your next novel. So I hope this episode inspires you to pay attention to the whispers of your sleeping mind and use them to create a richer waking life. Don't forget to subscribe and follow, and please share your own dream stories. And until next time, sweet dreams. Thanks for tuning in to the Download podcast. Feel free to like, comment and share and all of that good stuff. And for more about my books, coaching and business services, please check out wisewomanandwordsmith.com.